Hello everyone. We have already started basics of discriminant analysis. We have seen what is Mahalanobis distance function, what is Fisher's discriminant function, and we have developed a rule based on that. Today we will see likelihood ratio approach to discriminant analysis. Okay. If you remember likelihood ratio, what is it? Basically you do some kind of testing depending on the value of ratio of the likelihoods under two hypotheses, either null or alternative or null and complete likelihood setup. Okay, so here we are going to do something like that. So suppose we have two populations, so I have x1, x2, xn1 coming from np mu1 sigma. Okay, and suppose I have y1, y2, yn2 coming from np mu2 sigma, and mu1, mu2 sigma are all unknown. Okay, and we have a new observation z which follows n with some mean, unknown mean, let me call it mu z, and variance coherence matrix we'll have to assume same, because we want to say that this z comes from either the first population or the second population. Okay, so this is np, okay, not n1. So we want to say, okay, we want to develop a rule based on these observations, these n1 plus n2 observations, to put z into one of the two groups. Okay, and as I said, we are going to follow likelihood ratio approach to do that. So what do I mean by that? So we will consider two hypotheses. I won't say null and alternative because there's nothing null and alternative here. So I would say first hypothesis is that z comes from first population. So x1, x2 up to xn1 and z, all of them come from first population, and of course y1, y2 up to yn2 come from second population. Okay, that is my first hypothesis. And second hypothesis is that x1, x2, xn1 come from first population, and y1, y2 up to yn2 and z come from second population. Okay, so these are my kind of competing hypotheses. So the first hypothesis says z comes from first population, and the second hypothesis says z comes from second population. So what we will do is we will compute likelihood, we will compute maximum likelihood under both these hypotheses and then consider the ratio. Okay, now since mu1, mu2 sigma are unknown, my first job is to estimate those. Okay, now we have already derived formulae for estimates of mu and sigma in the multivariate normal setup in the multivariate course. Okay, so here first let me see what happens under h1. Now under h1, these y1, y2, y2 are coming from second population. So estimates from y don't change at all. So I can say mu2 hat is simply y bar. Okay, it won't get affected. What we are worried about is mu1 hat. mu1 hat is definitely going to get affected, because now I am saying that z also comes from the first population. So z would have some contribution in mu1 hat. Okay, so if x1, x2, xn1 comma z, this sample of size n1 plus 1 is coming from first population, then my mu1 hat would be x1 plus x2 plus xn plus z divided by n1 plus 1. Correct? Because this much we know that population mean can be estimated by sample mean, and not just that, maximum likelihood estimate for population mean is sample mean. Okay, so this becomes n1 times x bar plus z upon n1 plus 1. Okay, this is my mu1 hat, but this is mu1 hat under the first hypothesis. Similarly, this is mu2 hat under the first hypothesis. Okay, now we have to also compute sigma hat. Now normally we know when you have common sigma, you have to take CSSP matrices from both the populations, add them and divide by total number of observations. Am I right? So you will have S2 hat as CSSP matrix for Y. It would actually be same as regular S2 hat because in Y there is no change. Okay, so it would be simply, if you want to write it down, sum over I going from 1 to n2 yi minus y bar into yi minus y bar prime. Okay. Hello everyone.
The CSSP
We have already
matrix
started
for the first population,
basics of discriminant
however,
analysis.
would
We
need
have
to be
seen what is
estimated
Mahalanobis distance
differently.
function, what is Fisher's
There
discriminant
will be two parts.
function,
One part
and
will
we
come
have developed
from
a rule based on
size,
that.
and
Today
the
we
other
will
part
see
would come from
likelihood
Z.
ratio approach to discriminant analysis.
The part
Okay.
from exercise would be
If you remember
sum over I
likelihood
going
ratio,
from 1 to
what is
n1,
it? Basically,
xi
you will do
minus,
some kind
now
of
the mean is
testing
not x bar, mean
depending
is
on the value of ratio of the
mu1
likelihoods
hat
under two hypotheses,
into
either null or alternative
xi
or
minus
null and complete likelihood setup. Okay,
mu1
so here
hat
we are going to do something like
prime.
that.
This is the part coming
So
from exercise,
suppose
and from
we
Z
have two
we would have
populations. So I have
z minus
x1,
mu1 hat
x2,
into
xn1 coming
z
from
minus
np
mu1 hat
mu1
prime.
sigma.
Okay,
Okay,
let us try
and
to
suppose I have
simplify this further.
y2,
If we can simplify this further and
y2
maybe
coming from np
relate it to the usual
mu2
CSSP matrix.
sigma
Okay, so
and
S hat 1 1.
mu2.
So if I want to do
sigma
that, if I want to relate
are
this
all
to usual CSSP matrix, I will
Okay.
need to bring in x bar, right?
And
So
we
let
have
us
a
try
new
that.
observation z
Summation I going from
which
1 to
follows
n1.
n with some
Here,
mean
let me bring in
unknown
xi
mean, let me
minus
call
x
it mu
bar
z,
plus x bar
and
minus
variance coincidence
mu1
matrix
hat
we'll have to assume
into
same because
xi
we want to
minus
say
x
that
bar
this z comes from
plus x
either
bar
the first population or the
minus
second population.
mu1 hat prime.
Okay, so
This term I'll keep as it is
okay,
because
not
anyway it is not part
we
of
want
the
to say,
usual
okay,
CSSP
we
matrix. So
want to
right now I
develop a
don't
rule
need to
based on
change it.
these observations,
Okay.
these n1 plus n2
So
observations,
the first term let us
to put z
simplify
into
further.
one of the two groups.
So it becomes sum over I going
Okay.
from 1 to
And
n1.
as I said, we are going
The
to
inside things
follow
become
likelihood ratio approach
xi
to do that.
minus x bar
So what do I mean by that?
into xi
So
minus x
we will
bar
consider
prime
two hypotheses.
xi
I won't say
minus
null
x
and
bar
alternative
into
because there's nothing null and
x bar
alternative here.
minus mu1
So I would say
hat
first hypothesis is
prime
that z
plus
comes from first population. So x1
x bar minus
x2
mu1 hat
up to
prime
xn1
into
and z, all of
xi
them
minus
come
x
from
bar
first
prime.
population.
Okay, I'm sorry, this
And
prime is not there.
Of course, y1, y2 up to yn2 come from second population.
Okay,
Okay, that is my
Plus
first hypothesis, and
x
second
bar
hypothesis
minus mu1
that
hat into
x1,
x bar
x2,
minus mu1 hat
xn1
prime.
come from first population.
Okay, the last term is as it is.
And
So z minus mu1 hat into
y1
z
y2
minus mu1 hat
up
prime.
to yn2 and z come from second population. Okay, so these are my kind of competing hypotheses. So the first hypothesis
Now
says
what
z
next?
comes from first population.
Let us take the
And the
summation
second
sign
hypothesis
inside.
says z comes
So I
from
have
second
sum over I
population.
going from 1 to n1.
So what we will do is we will compute
xi
likelihood.
minus x bar
We will compute maximum
xi
likelihood
minus
under
x bar
both these
prime.
hypotheses,
This is the
and
first
then
term.
consider the ratio.
In the next term, x
Okay.
bar minus mu 1 hat is free
Now
from
since
I, so
mu1,
it can
mu2,
come
sigma are
outside,
unknown,
and I would be
my
left with
first job
summation
is
of
to
xi
estimate
minus x
those.
bar.
Okay.
Same story here,
Now
just with
we have
prime.
already
So
derived
x bar.
formulae for estimates of mu and sigma in the multivariate normal setup in the multivariate
So I
course.
would have
Okay. So
summation
here
of
first let me see
I
what
going
happens
from
under
1 to
H1.
n1.
Now
Xi
under H1
minus x bar
these y1, y2,
whole sum
y2
into
are coming from second
x bar
population.
minus mu 1
So
hat prime
estimates from
plus
y don't change at all. So
x bar
I can say
minus mu 1
mu2 hat
into
is simply y bar.
summation xi
Okay, it won't get
minus
affected.
x bar prime.
What we are worried about is mu1 hat. mu1 hat is definitely going to get
Plus
affected
this sum is over
because
again.
now
These,
I am saying
these
that
two
z
terms
also
are
comes
kind
from
of
the first
constant
population.
with respect to I.
So z would have some
it would
contribution
become
in mu1 hat.
n1 times
Okay. So
x
if
bar
x1,
minus
x2, xn1,
mu
comma
1
z,
hat into
this sample
x bar minus
of size
mu 1
n1
hat prime
plus 1 is coming from
plus
first population.
z
Then
minus
my mu1 hat would
mu 1
be
hat into
x1 plus
z minus
x2
mu 1 hat prime.
plus xn
Okay.
plus z divided by n1 plus 1.
Now this
Correct?
is nothing but
Because
some of the
this much
deviations
we
of
know that
observations
population mean
from the
can be
mean. So
estimated
this would
by
be 0.
sample mean,
Same
and not
story
just
here.
that,
This would also
maximum
be 0.
likelihood estimate for
Okay. So
population
I
mean
will
is
these two terms
sample
vanish.
mean.
So I will be
Okay.
left with this
So,
part is my
this
usual
becomes
CSSP
n1
matrix,
times
right?
x bar
So
plus
S1
z
plus
upon n1 plus 1.
times
Okay.
x bar minus
This is my mu1 hat.
mu1 hat
But this is mu1 hat under
x
the
bar minus
first
mu1 hat
hypothesis.
prime
Similarly, this
plus
is mu2 hat under the
z
first
minus
hypothesis.
mu1
Okay.
hat
Now
into
we have to also
z
compute
minus mu1
sigma
hat
hat.
prime.
Now normally we
Okay.
know when you have common
This is
sigma,
what I am
you
left
have to take CSSP matrices from both the
Is there
populations,
any way in which we
add
can
them
simplify this
and divide by
further?
total number of observations.
Okay.
Am I right?
So
So you will have
what is mu1 hat?
S
So we have
2
formula for mu1 hat. mu1 hat is
hat
this.
as
mu1 hat is
CSSP matrix for
n1
y.
x
It
bar
would
plus
actually
z
be
upon
same as
n1 plus
regular
1.
S2 hat
So let us try to substitute
because in
that.
y there is no change. Okay. So
Okay.
it would be simply, if you want to
So,
write it down,
mu1
sum over I
hat
going from 1 to n2
is
yi
n1
minus
x bar
y bar
plus z
into
upon
yi minus
n1
y
plus
bar
1.
prime.
Okay, so let me substitute that everywhere.
So CSSP matrix for first
So
population
what do
would
I
change because it would have contribution from both
First
the
I have
x's
x
and
bar
the
minus
z.
mu1 hat.
So this would be,
that would become
some part
x
would be
bar
coming from
minus
x's and
n1
some
x
part
bar
would be coming
plus
from
z
Okay.
upon
So how would this
n1
look
plus
like?
1.
So
So
the
this
part from
becomes
x's would be sum over I
n1
going
x bar
from 1 to
plus x
n1
bar minus
xi
n1
minus
x bar
my
minus
sample
z
mean has changed. It is not
upon
x bar, it is this mu1
n1
hat
plus
1.
1.
So xi
So I am
minus
left with
mu1 hat
x
1
bar minus z
into
upon n1 plus 1.
okay. Okay so far?
Let us try what happens to z minus mu1 hat. Let us see what happens to z minus mu1 hat. So this becomes z minus n1 x bar plus z upon n1 plus 1. So this is n1z plus z minus n1 x bar minus z upon n1 plus 1. So this z gets cancelled, so I am left with n1 upon n1 plus 1 z minus x bar.
Okay.
So this is actually similar to what we have here. Here we had x bar minus z, now we have z minus x bar. But the thing is, we are going to have, if we substitute it here, we are going to have x bar minus z into x bar minus z prime. So I can take minus sign common from both. Same story I can do here. So basically I can make them similar. Either z minus x bar or x bar minus z, whichever way you like. Okay. If you have not followed, please write it down take minus sign common and it would be clear to you what I'm trying to say. So what do I have? I have the revised CSSP matrix CSSP matrix to be original CSSP matrix plus, for this n1 into, we would get this z minus x bar upon n1 plus 1. So n1 into z minus x bar upon n1 plus 1 into z minus x bar upon n1 plus 1 prime plus, we don't have any constant here, so we would simply get n1 square z minus x bar upon n1 plus 1 into z minus x bar upon n1 plus 1 prime. So what do I have? So this would become, if I take n1 common and n1 plus 1 square common, then I am left with z minus x bar prime plus 1 n1 remains, so n1 times z minus x bar prime. So this would again become n1 plus 1, so 1 n1 plus 1 gets cancelled, so this becomes s1 plus n1 upon n1 plus 1 into z minus x bar prime. Okay, so this is my estimate of the CSSP matrix under the assumption that z comes from the first population. We can repeat the similar derivation for the second population, and what we would get is that S22 means estimate of second population under the second hypothesis would be original S2 plus n2 upon n2 plus 1 z minus y bar prime. Okay, I think we did likelihood ratio test for mean, and we had while doing multivariate, and we had established there that finally when you compare two likelihoods, the exponential part always gets cancelled because it will always lead to the trace, because that is the maximum possible value under any setup, and the only part that contributes is determinant of the estimate of the sigma. But what we know is, what our assumption is, that both the populations have common CSSP matrices, right? And that's why our estimate of CSSP matrix under first hypothesis, final estimate of CSSP matrix under first hypothesis would be S1 under first hypothesis plus S2 under first hypothesis upon N1 plus N2 plus 1, correct? We have to divide by total number of observations, because we are in MLE, we are not subtracting 1. So what does this mean? This S1 we know under first hypothesis is original S1 plus N1 upon N1 plus 1 into Z minus X bar prime, and S2 under first hypothesis is nothing but just S2. Okay, so this upon N1 plus N2 plus 1 is as it is. So what I have is S1 plus S2 plus N1 upon N1 plus 1 Z minus X bar prime divided by N1 plus N2 plus 1. Okay so far? Then similarly, estimate of entire CSSP matrix under second hypothesis would be estimate of S1 under second hypothesis plus estimate of S2 under second hypothesis upon N1 plus N2 plus 1. So that would become S1 plus S2 plus N2 upon N2 plus 1 Z minus Y bar Z minus Y bar prime upon N1 plus N2 plus 1. Okay. Now finally we want to compare determinants of both these estimates. Of course this is not, if I am dividing by N1 plus N2 plus 1, it is not CSSP matrix, it is actually sigma hat, right? So if you remember the likelihood ratio test that we derived in the multivariate normal setup, the contribution from exponential part is actually nil in the case of likelihood ratio, because exponential part always becomes trace of identity matrix and we don't get any contribution from that because it gets cancelled from both numerator and denominator. The only contribution remains is that of the determinant of the estimate of variance covariance matrix under the two hypotheses. Okay, so here it would be ratio of determinants of these two. So if I want to take determinant, can I do some simplification? So in the first setup, what I have is, maybe let me call it now sigma 1 hat. So sigma 1 hat is S1 plus S2 plus N1 upon N1 plus 1 Z minus X bar prime upon N1 plus N2 plus 1. Okay, so if I rearrange this determinant and if I take S1 plus S2 upon N1 plus N2 plus 1 as a separate determinant, then by the formula for determinant of partition matrices, I get this to be 1 plus N1 upon N1 plus 1 Z minus X bar prime S1 plus S2 inverse Z minus X bar. We have done this while doing likelihood ratio test for mean in the case of multivariate normal. So if you have doubts, please refer to those notes first and see if you can clarify that. Okay, this is sigma 1 hat, determinant of course, and similarly determinant of sigma 2 hat would be S1 plus S2 upon N1 plus N2 plus 1 1 plus N2 upon N2 plus 1 Z minus Y bar prime S1 plus S2 inverse Z minus Y bar. Okay. The likelihood ratio test statistic would be ratio of the determinants, and because in the likelihood the determinant goes in the denominator, I would have this ratio as determinant of sigma 2 hat upon determinant of sigma 1 hat. Why? Because determinant is in the denominator in the likelihood, so it would get reversed. So if things get cancelled, we would have 1 plus N2 upon N2 plus 1 Z minus Y bar S1 plus S2 inverse Z minus Y bar upon 1 plus N1 upon N1 plus 1 Z minus X bar S1 plus S2 inverse Z minus X bar. Okay. Now we would assign observation to population 1. Let us assume that both the misclassification probabilities are equally serious. So we would assign observation to population 1 if likelihood under H1 is greater than likelihood under H2. Okay. So that translates to N2 upon N2 plus 1 Z minus Y bar S1 plus S2 inverse Z minus Y bar being greater than N1 upon N1 plus 1 Z minus X bar S1 plus S2 inverse Z minus X bar. okay, primes at both the places. I can also bring in n1 plus n2 plus 1 on both the sides to make this z minus y bar into sigma hat without z. So I can call it minus z inverse z minus y bar, and n1 plus n1 plus 1 same story. So z minus x bar sigma hat without z, z minus x bar prime. Now first try to ignore this n2 upon n2 plus 1 and n1 upon n1 plus 1 part. Just focus on this part. What does this look like? So this basically looks like squared Mahalanobis distance of z from the second population, and this is squared Mahalanobis distance of z from the first population with the common estimate of sigma on both the sides. Are you getting what I am trying to say? Because I am taking deviation from the second mean here and the first mean here, this is basically squared Mahalanobis distance of z from population 2, and this is squared Mahalanobis distance of z from population 1. So we are saying that if distance of z from population 2 is more, then assign it to population 1, which makes complete sense, right? If distance of z from population 2 is more, it means it is away from population 2, so it should be ideally assigned to population 1. And now what is the role of this quantity n2 upon n2 plus 1 and n1 upon n1 plus 1? So we know this is playing role like that of, slightly like that of prior probability, okay? So this n2 upon n2 plus 1 and n1 upon n1 plus 1. So we know that n upon n plus 1 goes to 1 and it's an increasing sequence, right? Real analysis. So n upon n plus 1 goes to 1 and it's an increasing sequence. So whichever is larger of these two, so if n2 is large, this would be large. If n1 is large, this factor would be large. So that is going to kind of contribute like prior probability, okay? So this is the likelihood ratio test statistic for classification. So if you want to classify an observation using discriminant analysis but via likelihood ratio criterion, you can simply look again for the squared Mahalanobis distance. Of course the prior probability would come in picture, but if you remember, we have ignored prior probability even in the traditional derivation, okay? So maybe I will spend some time in the next lecture over that, how prior probability can be included in discriminant analysis. But for now we can say that okay, this distance based criterion looks sensible even when you go for LRT approach, okay? So let me stop here. We will continue in the next lecture.